wanted to be photographed. But I understand why it's happening, and that it's part of the communication of everything that we do. So it's something you just do. And then when you do it, if you want, then you want to do it well. And I want to say that you touched on a very sore point in the difference between shooting promotional shoots, doing promotional shoots, and doing documentary shooting, which is fine, really. I've never had a problem with the documentary side of things, but the promotional side is shit. It's really the worst. Also, maybe I think for the photographers, to go there in order to be photographed and to present yourself, and kind of, there is no such thing as not posing, because no matter what you do, it is some kind of pose, and it's not natural. It doesn't feel natural, and I've never liked it. And that's the hard part of it. But documentary thing, where you follow us the way you've done, is super, because we just do what we do. And I do remember now that you did set up this, and then I kind of get into the other mode. But to have someone like yourself that really fit in the way you have a talent for that. Also for the type of lifestyle that it becomes. To travel like this, to live out of a suitcase, and to be ready and available and ready to shoot from the hip at any point in time, and just be part of whatever goes on is a skill.
Is there any moments when you're traveling around, like you said, you're living out of a suitcase, always ready to go to the next city? Has there been any incidents between you where you just had said to Stian enough? Just leave me alone for
only when people get out of hand, when what they do gets out of hand, when you understand why they do it or why people need something, and it's a warranted reason, then you just accept it and you deal with it in a way. But the problem obviously always is that I am just one person, and because of what I do, I do something that becomes very personal to people that pay attention to it, that allow it into their lives, and it builds a personal relationship without the personal contact, which is the normal type of contact, and that's the area that is always a battle to try and deal with for both sides, for the listener as well as the performer or artist.
But is there any time when you come home from a long tour and you're alone in your house and you look around, where is the photographer?
I have never needed to look
in my
for
dreams.
Stian.
This is another really nice shot we have here. This is also from the time you recorded foot of the mountain in New Jersey, and for some reason this picture, even though it's taken pretty recently, it has kind of an 80s feel to it.
Just being on a sailing boat with Aha.
That was
This is
nice.
oh man,
It was a very nice little trip. It was a real break from that studio in what was it, Hoboken?
Hoboken, yes.
Yeah. And the guy turned up with a sailboat.
Yeah. I think there was a great fresh breath of air, so to speak, for the band and for everyone.
It was great to see New York from the seaside.
I like you saying that, because I'm thinking that sometimes that you guys is just another day at work, but I think it was good for everyone just to come up and just experience
really
that.
Great. I can see Paul did my hair there.
Such a bad hairdresser, isn't it?
This is almost like a calm moment in the book, because there's always in the book there's in lots of the photos there's fans around and it's a concert and there's lots of people. But what was the most dramatic moment that you had while traveling with Aha and shooting them?
It must have been all the crazy moments down in South America, I think, where you just felt that these people are eating the whole crew and band alive. For me, it's a massive shock because that's some of the stuff that I wanted to, some of the stories I want to show with this book. That I mean, the audience around the world, they are quite different. When you're in, no offense to Norway, but you play an Oslo show and that's quite different from, I mean, South America, for example. And the first time I went down there, that was just a slap in the face, in a good way, because I mean, the sheer volume of the crowd and how they go crazy when those guys go on stage. I was like, wow, fucking hell.
I have to say though, it's easy to know what you're talking about, and at the same time, that I think passion and emotional response and sort of being genuine about the moment is in all people and in all nationalities and all people, no matter where you go. We have different ways of showing it, and I find that in wherever I go, I also see the same. When you go to South America, it's exotic to you. When South Americans come to Norway, it's exotic to them. And if you live in South America for a while and with people, from these countries, you assimilate this and you become more like they in many ways. Maybe not always, but so it's also your mindset that kind of calls for that difference. I think.
But Stian, you've been working with almost every rock and pop band there is in Norway for decades.